Hello, welcome to my page. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This page is definitely dedicated to the overcomers of any type of abuse you can think of because your girl has definitely overcame it. Right now, I'm currently kind of like really obsessed with the government plot against my life, the systematic injustice, the fact that these mother flippers wanted to paint the narrative that I was a pedophile. They came and divided my family, just did all kind of crazy nonsense. So I'm kind of a little obsessed with their tactics of how they have illegal monitoring devices around, how they have monitoring spirits, gang stalkers, all kind of different stuff. And might I add, y'all, I'm really a little obsessed with how the past few years of my life has really been fake. Actually, I feel like my whole life has been fake. I really feel like these individuals have plotted and planned and have had actors and actresses around me monitoring spirits ever since I can freaking remember. I feel like all my friend groups are fake. All my relationships are definitely fake. And speaking of which, let me talk about that because your girl has really been healing from my most recent relationship. Because I thought he was my man, my man, my man, but come to find out he wasn't. He was like with the shit. I think they ended up paying him some money or whatever to go against me, and that bitch chose the wrong team. He had spiritual gifts as well as I did, and I just really thought that we were going to be together. That's why I kind of put up with the bullshit, and I really stayed longer than I should have. Actually, you know how we women, we like to really fault ourselves. I think the Holy Spirit, I think God really had me in the situation so he could let me know about my spiritual gifts because I really didn't. I knew I had spiritual gifts like the gift of prophecy, the gift of healing, the gift of intercession. I could understand my tongue. Um, and that's about it. I didn't understand all these other gifts like clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyance, and all these other things that they don't talk about in the Bible. I never really had it. I never understood them. I never thought they were real. I never thought there was actually real life people out there that could read your minds until I met this individual. Y'all, this mother flipper was charming, good looking to me. He gave me a run for my money. That was my baby. I loved him. But the nigga was really with some shit. And I'm just talking about this is really helping me heal through the heartbreak. Because I'm sitting here thinking about how bitch of a nigga he was. Because, like, story time. So I remember one time whenever the Lord was, putting it all together for me. And God was clearly telling me, look, Syria, this is what he's doing. And of course, I'm just like, okay, but the love that you gave me for him is going to just soothe all his worries. I'm going to pray for those demons that he's battling. I just didn't really want to see it for what it was until one day I had came back to his house after he had put me out for the 50th time. And that's when the Lord was telling me about how he was bisexual and stuff. And I was just like, nah, not no nigga like that, because he really come off real manly. So it was this dude that was outside his window when I came over one night. I guess he just ignored the dude. For me, y'all, homeboy was not having it. Like, he was outside, you do 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 whoop 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 whoop. And the Lord was letting me know that was somebody who he had been messing with, along with the girl that was up under us. Like, this dude had, I don't know who he was. I now know he led a different life. I think he had a bunch of money because he was able to back it up. Nigga had a bunch of money, but we were going to Aldi's, which is a little store down here in North Carolina, and it's like a little cheap store, really decent stuff, but real cheap. We were going to Aldi's for wine, paying $3, and he bought this girl that lived up under us some Moet, and I ain't never had no Moet by him. Anywho, that shit pissed me off. But so I'm being breadcrumbed, and all these other people that he's dealing with, all these other women are getting all these extravagant gifts and stuff like that, and I'm seeing him getting the bare minimum and seeing him on his not so good day and loving him all the way through. But he got the nerve to talk about me to these other women and act like he got his shit together when, anywho, But yeah, I was just sitting here thinking like, dang, that nigga was. No wonder he like. Okay, I'm not gonna go there because that's inappropriate. Um, but yeah, whole life bisexual, and I still was gonna deal with it. Oh, that's over. Here I am. I'm back in the picture. I love him. I'm gonna pray for him. There's nothing God can't heal. There's nothing God can't, you know. There's nothing God can't. There's nothing God can't do. And I don't fault him for nothing that he's ever been through, even if that's what he like. I ain't fault him for nothing. I love the man for every. I love all his flaws and all. Like, I was literally in love with him, and it hurts so bad. It still hurt. But the more I make these videos, the better I start feeling. You know, I get to get this off my chest, and I get to talk to other women about situations that they've been through. You know, if you ever find yourself in a situation with a man and he's controlling you, he's damaging your confidence, you know, calling you all kind of names and seem like nothing that you ever do is good enough, you know, and you start thinking that he might be messing with everybody around you, and he's sending people after you to look after you, make sure you're not doing anything that you don't have a business doing while he's away doing God knows what. Baby girl, you're not tripping. 9 times out of 10, he was probably sent to your life to fuck you up, because that's what they do to all of us goddesses. They send narcs after us so they can strip us of our essence. You know. Unfortunately, a lot of these men wish they had what we have. You know, and we sit here barely can make it through the day. You know, I know I'm sitting here with 10 whole teeth in my mouth and not one of my kids, and just a whole bunch of different stuff that I'm going through, you know, because of systematic injustice. And you got real live people, hundreds of people that are jealous of you, that are ganging up on you, that is making sure that you don't get the job you want, the house you want, the car. Like, they really, literally, whole life fucking your shit up. And it's true. It's true. And my advice to you is get the hell out of there. Like, for me, it took for me to pray to God, y'all. Like, and then, like, they messed with the wrong one. Him and his whole crew, or whoever he was working with, they didn't know that I was one of God's favorites. So, you know, that really helped for me. You know, being that I'm one of God's favorites and that I'm overly protected, because I never really had nobody in life. It took until I got older to realize that, you know, I got all of heaven backing me up, and it's just such an honor. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, get out of there. You know, give your life to Christ. That's the only thing that's gonna help. Not getting into another relationship, not getting no drugs, alcohol, not none of that nonsense. You know, it's time for you to surrender, get healed, so that you can be your better self. And I hope that this video helped. I'll be posting more. You know, again, this helps me heal, and because it still hurts. You know, that's why we stay so long, because we really do love these people, and it hurts to leave them. But hey, we got to, because it's either us or them, and they choosing them every day. You know, they're the real life going out with people that we roommate with. Like, girl, choose you, all right? Choose you and choose Jesus. And until the next video, I love you guys. And be strong. Straighten out your crown, queen. You got this.